Welcome to the Emporia State University Library. Today we're going to talk about using the Arguing a Position worksheet. This tool has been designed to help you use your research to take a position on an issue you have chosen to study. Whenever we learn something, it reshapes and modifies our thinking. Writing about what we've learned can help us to think in a more sophisticated way about those topics we have chosen to write about. Now, your instructor may have already told you this, but writing an argument is not yelling on paper. Instead, arguing a position is really a practical writing task. Rather than simply explaining something, in arguing a position, you try to get your reader to either think about an issue or topic in a different way, or to even change their behavior. Not an easy thing to do, since nobody's going to change their minds unless you give them a good reason to do so. No matter how charming and smart your grandma says you are, nobody is going to change their mind or habits just because you say so. And that's where the research process comes in. You've got to present good reasons for change. In Part 1, you will report on 2 articles you have found through CQ Researcher and Opposing Viewpoints. You will need to write down the articles' titles and which database you got them from. Now, CQ Researcher and Opposing Viewpoints articles are written in such a way that they try to present a very complete view of the issue. After reading the articles, then, you will write down what you think is the strongest position on the topic and record supporting evidence for that position. Also, make sure to record the paragraph number where you find your information. Some citation styles require this when you cite an online resource. For example, if I were writing about the issue of commercial fishing and accessed the CQ Researcher article, Oceans in Crisis, after reading the article, I would have to decide whether I favor more open fishing practices or highly regulated and even restricted practices. I would then need to examine the article for reasons, facts, and data that support my position. A note of caution, however. While stories about people involved with the issue can be moving and illustrate a point, they are not always the strongest or most convincing reasons in an argument. Thus, you want to be careful if you find yourself telling somebody's story as evidence to support your position. Facts and data are usually stronger forms of evidence. This is not to say that people's stories are not important, it's just to say that they may not be as convincing to others. In Part 2, you'll go through a similar set of steps, but this time they will be different in that the articles will be taken from the Academic Search Premier database or through a search via the library's Discovery Search tool. An important difference in this step is that these articles will probably have a more discernible point of view. The authors will use facts and data to try to guide you towards a particular belief or conclusion. Sometimes authors are very upfront about this. Other times it may take some more careful reading. As in Part 1, you will also need to write the reasons, facts, and examples that the author uses in his or her article. Let's say, for example, I felt that tighter regulation of commercial fishing was an important step to take to protect the world's oceans, and my readings had led me to become concerned about how many sharks are killed every day by humans. I would search in the Academic Search Premier database for an article on shark populations, read it closely, and record the significant facts and data that support my position. By going through this process, you can give yourself a strong basis to urge your reader to change their thoughts or behaviors regarding your issue. Part 3 of the worksheet gives you an opportunity to move from your readings to putting your ideas together in an understandable manner. You will state your position, then give your reasoning and evidence that supports your thinking. Also, consider what other positions are possible and how you would respectfully respond to possible objections. Remember, there are intelligent and reasonable people who may not agree with you. How would you address their concerns? Insulting or ridiculing people who have different perspectives than you actually hurts you in the long run, since it makes you look arrogant and unreasonable. Many of the issues you are likely to write about are complex and hard to wade through. It will take time for us as individuals and as a society to sort them out.